A little closer to the ground and definitely more delicious. It's almost Valentine's Day, which means there's lots of chocolates and cookies and sweets out there. But for those who might be gluten-free or diagnosed with celiac disease, these treats might be a little harder to find. So here with this best solution is founder and CEO of Mightylicious Gluten-Free Foods, Carolyn Haeler. Carolyn, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're excited. So tell us all about Mightylicious. What inspired you to start this company?
Yeah, I didn't have celiac disease as a kid. I was diagnosed at 31, and at the time I was working on Wall Street. And the diagnosis really changed my life dramatically. Gluten is in a lot of foods, not just pasta and bread, but it's used as a colorant, it's used as a filler, it's also used as a preservative. So you'll find it in everything from Coca-Cola to ginger ale. You'll find it in spices like cinnamon. It's also sometimes used in cold cuts as a preservative. So that really changes your life dramatically as an adult. And I started eating gluten-free products that were available at the time, and I realized a trend for most of those products. Most of the products were created by a parent of a kid who had a really severe food allergy. So there was a lot of sympathy, a lot of love in those products, but not necessarily empathy, because when you're a parent creating a product for a kid, you're not living that lifestyle. You're not dealing with that on the day-to-day as an adult with adult needs. Like, I can't go out after work and, get a cold beer if I want to. That's no longer an option for me as an adult. And there's all these things that we do as adults that help us sort of cope with the stresses of our lives that children don't ever have to think about. So I just wanted to create a product that was palatable, that was delicious, that reminded me of all those comfort foods that I enjoyed growing up as a child and as an adult, but that was gluten-free and better for you and that would nourish my body. And so I spent 3 months developing Mightylicious cookies, walked into a Whole Foods on the Upper West Side of New York and just looking for some feedback. And they were like, "This is the best cookie. We'll take it."
Wow.
That was a Thursday, and I was being onboarded to Whole Foods on a Monday, and we've just been taking off since then. We are now distributed in almost all 50 states. We're even in Alaska and Hawaii, and we have an online presence, and we're available on Amazon, Walmart, Giant, all over the U.S. So it's been really successful.
That's incredible. What a great story.
Yeah.
And I love, to your point, that a lot of these gluten-free products are parents of children who are dealing with it, but you're right. There's not a lot of people who are like, no, as an adult, I have to live this way, and I would like some adult flavored foods, perhaps. What are some of your most popular Mightylicious products?
Our number one best-selling, so we have 7 cookie flavors, and it really, like, whenever anyone asks me that question, it depends on who you are. Are you a vanilla person, a chocolate person, or a peanut butter person, right? So we have a double Dutch chocolate. We have 2 chocolate chip. We have a brown butter chocolate chip that's gluten-free and kosher. Then we have a vegan chocolate chip for anyone, because everyone who doesn't love chocolate chip. And then we have a salted peanut butter cookie that only has 5 ingredients. The 2 main ingredients are peanut butter, sugar. It's absolutely, if you're a peanut butter person, this is your cookie. So it depends on who you are, but my number one bestseller is our vegan oatmeal coconut, which again was created at the request of Whole Foods. They're like, "We love your gluten-free cookies, Carolyn, but vegan is really growing. We're getting more and more requests for plant-based products that are gluten-free, better for you, and taste good. Can you do this?" And I was like, well, I will try. And I took a 100-year-old recipe from my wife's side of the family and converted it to be gluten-free and vegan. It is our number one bestseller.
Wow.
After that is, of course, our brown butter chocolate chip, because it's the first cookie I ever created. Is absolutely divine and delicious. And we actually, given the success of our vegan gluten-free cookies, we actually last year launched 4 vegan gluten-free cookies. So 4 of our 7 cookies are now vegan and completely plant-based, non-GMO and kosher, and absolutely divine and indulgent and delicious.
Wow.
Those sound amazing. And I love that your bestseller is a family
recipe. I know.
That's great. And beyond some of the cookies, you're telling us that, Carolyn, you've lived this gluten-free life. Do you have any favorite recipes for people who are looking to cook gluten-free this Valentine's Day?
Yes, actually. So I love to bake. I love to cook, as is obvious, I think, for my occupation. But I now have a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. And for all those busy parents out there, all those busy professionals, all of those people who maybe don't love to bake, we're launching flour blends. So if you love brownies, the best treat on Valentine's Day, of course, is chocolate. So you want to give someone decadent, indulgent chocolate, purchase our brownie mix. It's available at Mightylicious.com. Get a heart-shaped cookie cutter, cut them into hearts, put a little Hershey Kiss on it, and you will be the most popular person in the room.
I do love a brownie.
Yes.
That might be one of my, it's like top 3 baked goods.
Good
A good fudgy brownie.
Now,
for
do you
sure.
like the edges of the pan or the
Gotta
middle?
be, yeah, no, I like the edge. I want the corner
Yeah,
piece.
what about you, Carolyn? Are you corner piece or are you the middle?
I like the middle.
All right.
Good,
there
we can
go.
share a tray then. We're okay. What else is next for Mightylicious? So you talked about the brownie mix. Are there any other new products on the horizon or stuff that you're working on?
Yes. Yeah. So one of the hardest things about gluten-free baking is actually the fact that most flour-based gluten-free flours are rice-based, but rice is actually not manufactured for baking. It's manufactured for cooking. And I buy rice by the truckload, like the tractor truckload.
Yes.
I'm buying tons of rice. So I have a lot of leverage with the manufacturers, and I couldn't for years find a rice that was milled fine enough to be able to get the texture and the quality of the baked good that is required. So we actually decided to work directly with the mills and give them the spec and say, mill the rice flour to this spec so that we can use it in baking. And so we've launched our rice flour. We have 3 blends. We have the brownie mix, we have a gluten-free, and we have a vegan flour blend. We're launching in February in Kroger's across the United States. And you can purchase it online at Mightylicious.com. And it's going to solve all your gluten-free problems, because when you bake gluten-free, oftentimes the recipe just doesn't work. And that's not your fault. It's the flour blend. This flour blend is going to work. It's the only flour blend that I can bake with. And we've learned the hard way of working with different suppliers and them telling us this is the spec, we meet your spec, and then it just not working. That is how dramatically sensitive baking gluten-free is. So now you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to go into the gluten-free aisle and deal with all those flours that are using rice flour that isn't milled for baking. You can just purchase ours, and anything you make, from pancakes to cookies to cakes for the holidays, are going to come out perfect the first time and every time.
I'm really excited about that. You're really solving all of the problems, because I would say I've tried to bake one-to-one the gluten-free flours, and it's okay, but it's
never
it's
quite
rough.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. So I'm excited to try that. And you said Mightylicious.com is where we can purchase, and you're in stores across the nation. Is there any other way we can keep up with Mightylicious?
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, Mightylicious.
Very cool. Carolyn Haeler, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. And now I'm hungry, so thank you for your time and your information. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm really excited about that flour.
You know what? She made a lot of good points. I used to cook for a daycare, and these kids were gluten free, dairy free. So I mean, I literally So coming up with stuff, was certainly a challenge. But it's fun. Like when you love food, right? Like sometimes it's fun to be like, okay, I got to stay within this container.
For sure.
But stuff like that would have made life very
so much
easy.
easier. Looking forward to checking that out and continuing with our little Valentine's Day segment here. Coming up, how to stay safe this Valentine's Day.